So I just had a problem with my AO that I fixed. So when I was working on this texture here, this AO was looking too sharp, like this. And at first I thought it was my AO from Substance, but actually it turns out that it was the screen space AO. So if you go to the global post-process volume and scroll down to ambient occlusion, so this allows you to tweak the ambient occlusion settings. And this ambient occlusion is calculated on the screen space. So it's not really calculating the world, it's like it's a fake calculation, and you can see how limited it is when you look at the corner of the screen here. So because that information is outside the screen, the engine doesn't have that information to calculate it. And you can also see that problem here, like on this corner. When I turn the camera, it disappears. So the ambient occlusion is a very nice effect, but you should keep it subtle, because if it's too visible, it kills the illusion. So I just tweaked mine. So the bias, I put like a high volume, like 25, and the bias basically controls how detailed it gets. So if you go 25, so you see like the bias is the amount of noise the AO is gonna pick up, and this looks very wrong. It's just too extreme. So I think a value of 25 works pretty well, because it still picks up some of the details here and there, but the surfaces are mostly clean. And the radius shows another value here that you can play with. So you can make it sharper, broader, or like crazy broad. I know that there is a cost with this calculation here. If you go higher, it gets more expensive. So if you're working on a VR game, you might be careful with that. But if you're working on just a portfolio piece, it doesn't really matter. But you see, that's the problem. When the radius is too big, it gets very noticeable towards the edges of the screen. It's unfortunate that, you know, like that's how the technology works, but maybe in the future we are gonna get better AO. I mean, like, for sure we are gonna get a better AO in the future, but for now we have to work around these limitations and try to get the best out of the tool.